From visitors to Kenny dying, get ready to relive the laughs and quirks that make South Park truly unforgettable. Let's explore the top 20 running gags of the show. Alright folks, gather round, because we've got a hilarious presidential edition running gag in South Park. Meet President Garrison, and when we say Garrison, we mean, wink wink, nudge nudge, everyone's favorite impressionist pretending to be none other than the one and only Donald Trump.
How are we supposed to put a positive spin on it?
It's getting pretty hard to keep defending you. Maybe it's time we put our foot down.
I mean, come on, they might call him President Garrison in the show, but let's be real, we all know it's just Trump doing his best presidential act.
Oh. Hope you brought some condoms.
Puking is totally yucky, and Wendy, well, she really doesn't seem to like it. Whenever Stan's with Wendy, things seem pretty normal, but guess what? Puke somehow manages to sneak in, and guess where it goes?
Yeah, well, I guess a lot of things have changed, don't they?
Yep, Stan ends up puking right on Wendy's face. Ew, talk about bad luck. Now, it might not sound like a comedy goldmine, but every die-hard South Park fan knows that when this old farmer makes an appearance, you can bet your bottom dollar that something wicked or downright supernatural is about to hit the fan. Am I right?
Well, you should find an old bridge about halfway up. That bridge is cursed, you know. They built it with the bones of 200 Chinese laborers who were massacred in 34. Yeah, a lot of history on that rod.
Cartman. Oh boy. He's a real mix of funny and evil rolled into one. But what really tickles most fans is his unique way of talking. I mean, when he says authority as authorita, it's just adorable and hilarious all at once.
Yes, who would take care of them?
Little boy, we're making you an honorary Department of Interior person.
And when he gets some authority, you better believe he's gonna demand that everyone respects his authority. Classic Cartman.
So now you are officially in charge of South Park's fish and wildlife. You have authority over all of them.
In the real world, Satan and hell are no laughing matter. They're seen as dangerous entities. But step into the zany world of South Park, and you'll find that Satan and hell are ongoing jokes. Whenever Satan pops up, he's cracking jokes and doing things the real Satan probably never even considered.
Hey, fuckface, have you seen Gracie?
And as for hell, it's always filled with some familiar faces, like Hitler, which just adds to the humor in this topsy-turvy world.
In the universe.
Helen good, hell!
It's like South Park has a personal score to settle with Saddam Hussein. Every time Saddam makes an appearance, you can bet it's in the funniest way possible.
I'll open up my heart and I will share it. In minutes now I will be born again.
Whether he's scheming something evil with Satan or getting into all sorts of hilarious antics, it's bound to have people in stitches.
I can change, I can change. I know I've been a dirty little bastard.
Now, I get it. Not everyone's a fan of Randy Marsh's character in South Park. He can be pretty gross at times. But come on, you've got to admit, whenever he belts out, "I am Lord, ya ya ya," it's an absolute riot. It's comedy gold.
I love the stage, yeah, yeah, yeah. 'Cause I am Lord, Lord, yeah, yeah, yeah.
We're all aware that when things get complicated, Kyle is your go-to guy for those heartwarming and inspiring monologues. Even before Kyle begins, South Park fans have this sixth sense that tells them, here comes another emotional Kyle monologue. Am I right, folks?
Because I think they are real. It's all real. Think about it. Haven't Luke Skywalker and Santa Claus affected your lives more than most real people in this room? I mean, whether Jesus is real or not, he's had a bigger impact on the world than any of us have.
Besides Kyle, Stan is also quite renowned for his heartfelt speeches when someone's up to no good. Remember when he got all teary-eyed during that COVID speech? It was such an emotional moment, yet South Park fans couldn't help but appreciate the running gag.
I just want my life back.
We're all familiar with just how mischievous Cartman can be. He's always cracking jokes at others' expense and stirring up trouble. But here's the twist. When the tables turn and he's the one in hot water or the butt of a joke, he pulls out his signature move. You know the one, right? He declares, "Screw you guys, I'm going home."
Okay, that does it. Screw you guys, I'm going home.
And makes his exit. It's a moment that never fails to tickle the audience's funny bone.
Well, I'm gonna just give me a minute.
We're all aware of Kyle's younger Canadian brother, Ike. Kyle usually showers him with care and affection, but here's the twist. When things take a turn for the worse, all that love and care go right out the window, and he kicks his brother like a football, shouting, "Kick the baby!" It's one of South Park's most famous running gags for sure.
Ba, 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 ba. Ready, Ike? Kick the baby. Kick the baby. Kick the baby.
Ike, you broke another window! That's a bad baby! Bad baby!
We're all well aware that alcohol can bring out its fair share of problems, but Randy seems to be blissfully ignorant of this fact. Every time he takes a swig, it's like a one-way ticket to Trouble Town. Remember that time he lost his driver's license due to alcoholism? You think that'd be a wake-up call, but nope, he just keeps on sipping.
Get Daddy another beer, will you?
No, you don't need another beer.
I know that! But this disease is just eating me up!
And now it's turned into one of South Park's recurring comedic themes.
I hate my illness!
Dad, you just need to not drink so much. It's very simple.
I wish it was that simple, son.
South Park might be an American show, but it sure has a peculiar fascination with our friends up north in Canada. Whenever they feature Canada or Canadians, it's like they've cranked up the comedy dial to 11. In a show where everyone already looks quirky in their own unique way, the Canadians manage to stand out as the quirkiest. South Park tends to depict Canada as this perpetually money-hungry little country. So when South Park fans spot that iconic Canadian flag in the show, they know they're in for a belly full of laughs.
What exactly does Canada want?
We want more money. Yeah, more money.
South Park is like a playground for pranks, where it seems like everyone's out to get a laugh at someone else's expense. But if there's one character who consistently ends up on the receiving end of these hijinks, it's poor Butters. Remember that time he was kidnapped and stashed away in Cartman's bomb shelter? Or when Cartman convinced him he was a robot?
Let's see. Well, for one, I have what's called a hesiated colon, which means I sometimes can't control my sphincter.
Yeah, pranking Butters is practically a South Park tradition, and while it might be a bit mean, it's undeniably hilarious.
Well, nobody knows it, but sometimes I poop my pants so I have to wear a diaper to school. You okay, Osmo?
Sure, Chef's cooking might be a hit in South Park, but when he breaks into song, it's a whole different story. When the boys find themselves in a tight spot and turn to Chef for advice, he responds with a musical touch.
Say everybody ever seen my balls? They're big and salty and brown.
Chef, just serenade us with your wisdom and the laughter's guaranteed.
Suck on my chocolate salty balls. Put 'em in your mouth. Put 'em in your mouth.
This running gag is a classic one-liner courtesy of Daryl Weathers, the construction worker from South Park. When immigrants started coming into town, he famously hollered, "They took our jobs!" And lo and behold, this line turned into a running joke throughout the series. It even persisted when they used a time-skip machine to glimpse the future, and poor Daryl found himself jobless once more, prompting another hearty, "They took our jobs!"
And now these people from the future are showing up and offering to do the same work for next to nothing.
Sometimes blaming others is just too darn easy.
They took our jobs! Yeah, they took our jobs!
Cartman is a character who's both comically amusing and deviously cunning, but when it comes to his mum, well, she's a character in her own league. She's portrayed as someone who is easily excited, and the South Park series doesn't hold back on showing that. In fact, even when someone tries to punch her, somehow she manages to find it oddly stimulating, giving the audience a moment of unexpected laughter.
Oh my.
We're all familiar with how those pesky visitors got the blame for Cartman's, shall we say, rear-end inconvenience in one episode. And from that point on, it became a recurring joke in South Park. Whenever Cartman finds himself in a sticky situation,
And then the next thing I remember, I was being drugged through a hallway.
his friends can't resist but humorously bring up those infamous visitors.
Dude, visitors. Totally. What? That wasn't a dream, Cartman. Those were visitors.
While promoting body shaming as a definite no-go, Cartman's weight becomes a topic of conversation among the boys. They might use phrases like fat, fat ass, or other related terms to his weight, but Cartman always has a comeback. He proudly declares, "I'm not fat, I'm big-boned," or "I'm not fat, I'm festively plump."
You're not filling out nicely. You're fatter than ever. I'm not fat. I'm getting in shape.
His witty responses never fail to bring a smile to our faces. Thanks, Cartman.
Cartman, you're such a fat ass that when you walk down the street, people go, "God damn it, that's a big fat ass!"
Now let's dive into the world-renowned running gag of South Park, Kenny's unfortunate demise. Kenny is undeniably a beloved character and a fan favorite. However, it's almost become a tradition for him to meet his end in nearly every other episode of every other season. Whether it's getting hit by a truck or falling victim to some bizarre viral disease, he continually finds fresh and inventive ways to meet his untimely end.
Oh my god, they killed Kenny!
What? I'm not talking to you.
Thanks for joining us on this journey through South Park's most hilarious running gags. If you had a good laugh, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on more comedy gold. Stay tuned for more fun and laughs from South Park and beyond. See you next time.